Most people think the reason they haven't achieved their goals is because they haven't proclaimed it to the world loudly enough. They need to manifest it out there. However, I'm here to say that's not the true reason. The true reason is because there's so many competing voices out there, it becomes so noisy and it drowns out your main goal. And once you understand this, it changes the way you approach your goals completely, because you stop trying to manifest a new life publicly and you start building it privately. If you're new here, my name is Wesley and I help busy professionals and high performers save time, protect their energy, and build a life that actually feels sustainable. In this video, I want to walk you through 4 key shifts that will help you make decisions faster without regretting them. Because if you can understand these and actually apply them, you'll start to move forward with a lot less confusion and a lot less overwhelm. The reason this matters so much is because a lot of people are trying to solve feeling overwhelmed the wrong way. They keep focusing on motivation or the perfect plan so that their goals can be achieved and make them feel accountable, but they're ignoring the deeper issue. The deeper issue is that they have the illusion of choice. It's like going to the grocery store and seeing 100 different types of blueberry jellies, and you're just so overwhelmed by all the different brands, you don't know which one to pick. You're not just pursuing your own goal anymore. This goal becomes everyone else's expectations, their voices, and it just becomes hard to pick. So when you do that, you get so overwhelmed, you start doom scrolling. And here's the truth. Most people don't want to admit that no decision is still a decision, because indecision is choosing to stay stuck. So let's walk through this step by step. Here are 4 shifts to help you get more private, more clear, and start making faster decisions that will help you follow through on your goals. The first shift is this: move in silence. Let me give you this example. In the NBA, being a 4-year college player is quite rare because you're considered old. And being a 4-year college player, being the #1 overall pick, is also extremely rare because it takes so much skill, so much talent to be the first pick. But there was one kid who didn't follow this usual script. He came from the US Virgin Islands, and originally his dream wasn't even basketball. It was to become an Olympic swimmer. And Hurricane Hugo hit the US Virgin Islands and it destroyed the only Olympic swimming pool there. So he had no choice but to swim in the ocean. However, his fear of sharks completely ruined his Olympic dream. And his brother-in-law actually inspired him to start basketball, and he eventually fell in love with it. So in 1997, the San Antonio Spurs drafted Tim Duncan with the first overall pick. He was a 4-year college player who worked his butt off to become the #1 pick, and he eventually ended his career as a 5-time NBA champion, 2-time MVP, and 15-time All-Star. Here's why the story matters to you, because Tim Duncan is one of the greatest to ever do it, and he did it without being loud. He wasn't the chosen one like LeBron James was. He was quiet, he put in the work, and he got so much accolades for it. Some that LeBron doesn't even have. And that's the point. When you stop broadcasting your goals, you can actually hear what you want. A lot of people overlook this because they think sharing their goals gives them accountability. But in reality, it often gives them noise. Because of the moment you post it, you invite feedback you didn't ask for. People will come up to you and say, hey, did you really think about that? Or you should do it this way, or that's unrealistic. And I know for me, after college, I used to call myself a social media influencer. I thought by calling myself and identifying as one, I would start acting like one and therefore become one. However, it didn't really do much of a difference for me. A lot of people gave me some side eyes, were kind of like, really? You don't even have like 1,000 followers on Instagram. And so it just created a lot of noise. I was kind of just talking out of my butt, not having the skills to show for like being a social media influencer. And right now I'm trying to build a following on YouTube. So thank you so much for watching. And when I meet people in real life, this is not the first thing that I tell them. 1, because it's not truly ready yet. I'm still laying down the foundations of it. And 2, I don't want the status that comes from it. As much as I want the clout and the fame, YouTube is just a hobby for me. And hopefully it means where I can take it to a full-time business and use it to get leads, find clients like you, and help make happier, healthy leaders. So YouTube, right now, I am building in private. My friends and family don't really watch the videos. Some are subscribed, but they're not really following me. And so I just got to stay consistent on making these YouTube videos. And I hope that once the foundations are laid, I get to continue my mission of helping happier and healthy leaders. So here's the practical takeaway. Keep the goal private long enough to build traction. You don't have to stay secret forever. Just enough privacy to lay the foundations down. And if you want to grow in this area, pick one goal you've been talking about and stop talking about it for 30 days. Just execute. Now, the second shift is closely connected to this. Number 2 is to to have tunnel vision by not comparing yourself to other people. Let me hook you with something that you've probably never really thought about. Horses are some of the strongest mammals on Earth. They can carry heavy loads, transport humans long distances, yet they're also one of the most skittish animals. Their fight or flight instinct usually involves flight. Now think about a racehorse. There's a crowd screaming, cameras flashing, people cheering. There's so much going on that a horse can get spooked and lose focus. So back in the 1800s, they invented the blinders to keep horses focused on what's in front of them. And we're not horses, but we get distracted by the same concept. What's happening in our peripheral vision? Having tunnel vision is how you can keep seeing where you're headed. And this matters because comparison creates this emotional pressure, and emotional pressure makes decision making worse. When people struggle with overwhelm, they're usually missing one of these pieces. They think, I just need more discipline. What actually helps is removing this constant scoreboard in your head. Because when you're watching what everyone else is doing, you start making decisions on what looks the best. How can I impress this person? What will people approve of? And that's not clarity, that's performative. The biggest distractions for us today are digital. And I keep rehashing this. Social media is the bane of our existence. I downloaded the app Block It. I'm not sponsored by them, but it's been so helpful. It just blocks the stories and feeds on my computer. I don't have social media on my phone, so I'm forced to go to my computer. And when I do, I can't see anything on my social media. I use it simply for DMs. So it's really great to connect with people. But I love that. I don't care about the people that I haven't talked to in 10 years plus from high school. They have my number if they really care about me. And so put these blinders on. Put it on so you can focus on your goal, make the right decision, because I'm trying to run my own race. I don't care what everyone else is doing because I have my goals. You have your goals that you want to achieve. So run your own race and then ask yourself, what do you really want? What does your season require? This one shift can make that difference of putting on the blinders. Third shift will save you a ton of regret. The third is to stop letting the past dictate your future. Kill the sunk cost fallacy. One of Daniel Kahneman's biggest warnings is that we make irrational choices when we become emotionally attached to what we're already invested in. He's a renowned psychologist and author in his writings, and when he was writing one of his books, he would often draft so many pages, and he would show it to the editor and come back with completely different pages with different ideas, and the editor's like, hey, what's going on? What type of book are you trying to write? And Daniel Kahneman would reply back, well, I don't let the past dictate my future. I am willing to let go of what I already started and do it again to put these new ideas forth. So the sunk cost fallacy is we don't want to waste the time nor the effort in the thing that we put on. So like an easy example is education. You put so much into like the bachelor's degree of like art history, but you realize it hasn't gotten you a job. And then the sunk cost fallacy is thinking, well, I've already put so much time and energy into putting into this 4-year degree that I may as well commit to it. But that's where the fallacy lies, is that the past doesn't dictate our future. The question is, what have I invested in? The real question is, if I were starting today, would I choose this again? And I had to practice this with YouTube because YouTube is so hard for me. Writing video ideas is so tough. Going to AI and asking for video ideas, it just spits out generic information. And I want to find new information that I can help me, help you. Ideally, I'm thinking of my ideal audience who is me from 5 years ago. I want to help the young, hungry professional that is trying to build a career, build a life that he loves. And I hope that you are building a life that you love too by watching these videos. And that's what's motivating me, that when I feel like I've written a script that I don't like, I don't want to push through on it because I want to continually serve my audience. And sometimes I have some drafts that I've just simply put away. Even though I put some time and effort into it, I know it's not going to serve my audience. And so I'll rehash it into a completely different script so that way I can best serve you. So to kill sunk cost thinking, don't make your decision based on the past. Make your decision on how you would do now. On a blank slate, forgetting about the past and just what benefits you right now. Start small, but take it seriously. So identify one thing you're maintaining purely because you've already invested in it and give yourself permission to reassess it, because quitting the wrong thing is not failure. Sometimes quitting is wisdom in of itself. And now this next one may actually be the most important shift. Point number 4, set a decision deadline. So do you remember back in college when you had to write an essay and you were given 2 weeks and you kind of just blew by the 2 weeks and you didn't start until the last night before it was due? Then all of a sudden you turn into a machine and you write 5 pages in a few hours and you somehow end up with a B+. That's not just college laziness. There's a principle behind it. It's called Parkinson's Law. Work expands to fill the time available for its completion. Meaning, if you give yourself 2 weeks to finish a task, it will magically take 2 weeks, even if it only needed 2 focused hours. And this leads to the next shift. This one is so important. Set a decision deadline, because everything else builds on top of this. You can have the strategies, you can have the tools, you can even have the desire to change. But if you don't have a decision deadline, you're gonna live in emotional limbo. And at a deeper level, it's really about fear. Because most people, what they want is not just to make a decision, they want zero anxiety about it. But that's not how real life works. Here's a simple rule. For a major decision, before a major decision, give yourself 2 days. 2 days to think about it, 2 days to pray over it, 2 days to consult wise counsel over it, and then make the decision. And sometimes after those 2 days, you're not gonna move forward with that decision, and that's okay. That's your choice. I do this all the time with clothes. I go suit shopping, pant shopping. I see something expensive and fancy that I like. I give it 2 days before I make a purchase to see if I still really feel like buying those pants. Most oftentimes, I don't, and that's amazing, because I don't want to make the decision based off of my emotions. I want to base it off of those facts, that those pants are expensive. I have enough pants in my closet. I'll stick with it. So if there's one thing I want to encourage you on from this video, is to stop waiting for certainty, start using deadlines. So what do you actually want to do with all this? First, identify which one of these shifts is most relevant to you right now. Moving in silence, stopping comparison, drop sunk cost thinking, or setting a deadline decision. Second, don't try to fix everything all at once. And third, choose one simple action you can apply this week. Here's a practical challenge. For the next 7 days, be more private about your goals. No announcing, no teasing, no big things coming. Just execute on your goals. This is how real change starts. Not trying to overhaul your life overnight, but by making one meaningful shift and building from there. So bringing this all together, if you want to make decisions faster without regretting them, here's what I want you to remember. Move in silence so that you can actually hear what you want. Stop comparing, because comparison creates pressure, not clarity. Kill sunk cost thinking so your past doesn't trap your future. And set a decision deadline so you can stop living in limbo. And the good news is you don't need to be a completely different person overnight. You just need to be more intentional and more focused. If you do that, you could be surprised by how much you change. So if you found this video helpful and you want to take it a little step further, you can click down below to apply for my coaching program. You can even click down on the link below to schedule a one-on-one call with me and see if you're a great fit for the program. Thank you so much for watching. And if you're interested in watching this video on how to make work more enjoyable, even if you hate it, you can click right here. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.